rising cost of living. Only yesterday, as President William Ruto was opening Parliament, Central Bank, on their part, were raising the base lending rate from 7.25 to 8.25 or thereabouts. What does that tell you? The cost of borrowing will now go up. It is the middle class in this country and the hard-working business people who have made this country move towards Vision 2030 objectives of a middle-income country. But now if we kill that spirit by Kenyans not being able to borrow, I think that the consequences will be amazing in a negative sense. Now, we also question how this fertilizer was procured, when it was procured, and where it was sourced from. We ask, does it meet the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS standards? This administration must therefore make public, because one thing we have done as a country is to open up this country. And the basic rights of Kenyans, the right to life, there's one thing that nobody can take away from Kenyans, is the basic rights. Therefore, the right to know is important. This administration, therefore, should make public the procurement process of this fertilizer subsidy. We have directed our MPs, a lot of whom, as you can see, at very short notice, managed to come to the command center. We have directed our MPs to commence an inquiry into the same. Fellow countrymen, as you are well aware, the extremely high cost of fuel in Kenya affects all sectors of our economy, from production costs that makes us unattractive to investors and our local manufacturing to transport costs that inevitably makes life unbearable, with the expensive basic cost of goods and services. This is happening at a time when the global price of a barrel of oil is on the decline, down from US dollars 20 per barrel, 80 per barrel, from a high of US dollars 120. We therefore expect this administration to honor their campaign promise of lowering fuel prices and, in addition, revise the punitive tax levies on the cost of fuel. The Ruto administration's initiative of utilizing savings for development instead of borrowing is another camouflaged promissory note. To realize the 300 billion shillings from this year's budget is extremely ambitious. We wish to propose austerity measures such as the restructuring of the national debt and the recovering of public funds looted from 2013 to date. On the 27th September, the Ruto administration unveiled their choices of cabinet secretaries. Of the total number, only 7 women were named, contrary to the campaign promise of a 50-50 cabinet. I hear there was an MOU to name from the clergy, members of the clergy, CS for religious affairs. It could be another breach of an MOU. Moreover, the selection of cabinet secretaries, some of whom have amazingly active criminal cases, is unquestionable. What are you asking our parliamentarians to do? Honestly, to go into the committees, compromise them with money here and money here, and actually approve people with criminal cases. If I was William Ruto, I would withdraw some of this immediately to avoid national shame and even international shame. This was not procedurally done on the basis of competencies and personal integrity. We shall direct our MPs to withhold approval of those who do not meet the Chapter 6 threshold of our Constitution. Finally, dear Kenyans and leaders assembled here, and you members of the Fourth Estate, on the back of this heavily contested election, the deficiencies that exist within the judicial and electoral systems needs to be immediately addressed. We must reform, and I cannot overemphasize the word must, in the light of what we now know, we must reform the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to be able to, perchance, going forward, guarantee our children free, fair, and credible elections. With regards to the judiciary, there can never be justice if our judicial system can be adversely influenced to subvert the rule of law and the course of justice. As I speak a member. As I speak, I'm a member of that fraternity. And it pains me as senior counsel to have witnessed what you have gone through. In conclusion, our transformative ideals live on as Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance. We are re-energized, we are revitalized, and indeed rejuvenated to ensure that the hopes and aspirations of the Kenyan people will be at the top of our agenda. A luta continua. I am accompanied here by members of parliament, as I said, in excess of 20 who came in quickly. I think that Fred there will be able to give you a list of these MPs, and I thank you so much for finding the time. We felt it was important. It's indeed our constitutional responsibility to respond to the first address as the new president opened the 13th edition of Parliament. Just for some of you may be of some interest, I joined Parliament when it was the 5th edition. So I lived through the 5th edition, the 6th edition, the 7th edition, the 8th edition, the 9th edition, wow, the 10th edition. So if you want to know how to win elections, please talk to me. All of you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Asanteni.
Thank you.
Thank you.